There used to be a time, not so long ago, that you had many choices for how you would write a resume. There was the tried and true reverse chronological resume, the functional resume that could market you better or hide something, and if both of those failed to meet your needs, the combination resume. While all these formats still exist in the world of resume design, these days most job seekers are looking for a job through online channels, and for that, only a reverse chronological format will work. But does that mean that functional resumes are dead? You've already learned the basic components you need to include in your resume. But that was for a resume to get you through the applicant tracking software system, or ATS, which is a reverse chronological resume. But what if you're not looking online for a position? In that case, you certainly have way more leeway to showcase your experience and talents in a way that works best for you, and that might be with a functional resume. Functional resumes focus on skills rather than experience. They provide a way to de-emphasize a lack of experience, job jumping, or gaps in employment, while emphasizing the skills and accomplishments you possess that directly correlate to the position. The functional format is best for candidates who are new to the workforce with minimal experience, have a series of jobs ranging from a few months to a year, are making a career shift from something that's not as relevant to the direction they're heading, but they have relevant transferable skills, have employment gaps from illness, raising children, or being incarcerated. Since a resume is truly a marketing document, functional resumes are excellent at marketing the top skills you bring to the table as a candidate. If you fall into one of the previously mentioned categories, you will probably benefit from using a functional resume. However, you can only use one when you're sending a resume directly to someone. That means you're not applying online, such as when you meet someone networking, let's say. You can also pair a functional resume with a more traditional reverse chronological format, using the former as an email follow-up to the latter, which will be used to apply online. Obviously, if you're applying online, you should not use a functional resume. Always assume the company is using an ATS system and that your functional resume just won't cut it. You also shouldn't use a functional approach if you are a mid-level or executive candidate. At that level, most employers and recruiters are looking for a more straightforward approach. Also, if you're looking to cover up something on your resume such as a long employment gap, remember that functional resumes are a red flag to most employers and recruiters. They make them look for those gaps, lack of direct experience, and maybe even job jumping. This is a double-edged sword in that a functional approach definitely pulls the attention away from such issues, but it also signals readers to look for them. If you are trying to hide something, tread lightly. Refer to the resume template in this lesson for a breakdown of the components of a functional resume so you can follow along. Here are the components to include in your functional resume. Contact information, which includes your full name, phone number, email address, and LinkedIn URL. You may choose to add your full address, just city and state, or no address at all. That's totally up to you. Right after your contact information, include the title that you're applying for. Refer to the lesson on titles and headlines for more information about this. Next is the summary. Your summary answers the question, why should I hire you? And it should be full of value. Check out the lesson on writing a great resume summary to learn more. Your areas of expertise come next. These are areas that you offer expertise in, also known as your keywords or transferable skills. While they won't serve the same purpose as keywords on an ATS-friendly resume, when paired with your title and summary, they work together to provide a snapshot of the value that you offer. Our keywords lesson will help you find the right keywords to add to your resume. So far, the previous sections are the same on a reverse chronological as they are on a functional resume, but this is where the functional takes a left turn. Remember, this is also called a skills-based resume, primarily because it puts the spotlight on what you can do, your skills, as opposed to what you have done, your experience. So you'll need a skills and accomplishments section. To write this section, it's imperative to know what you're looking for. Pull up a job description and see what skills and talents they want in a candidate. Think of 2, 3, or 4 skills that you have and that companies are seeking. These are broad-based, but not too broad, and are often the keywords in the job advertisement. Under each skill, think about your approach, experience, and/or philosophy as it relates to that skill. That's your brief paragraph overview. Keep it to about 3 to 5 lines. Follow that overview with bulleted accomplishments. Aim for 2 to 3 accomplishments per skill, and remember that you can put these skills and accomplishments from across your career, experience, volunteering, or just life in general. Refer to the written version of this lesson as well as our templates for some examples. Your professional experience section on a functional resume just lists the titles, companies, city, states, and dates with no additional information. If your experience goes back beyond about 10 to 15 years, continue to include titles, companies, cities, and states, but leave off the dates for your older positions. For your education section, list your degree, major, school, and city and state of the school. You don't need to include the date unless it was within the last 5 years. If you're a new grad and your education is your most recent and/or biggest selling point, you can move the education section to just below your branding statement and before your skills and accomplishments section. This will also apply if you are looking to get back into something you studied in school but have not done professionally recently. If you have any licenses or certifications that support your candidacy, include them after your education. Dates are not necessary here either. It's vital to your success in writing a functional resume to remember that they are not linear. Most of us think in a point A to point B kind of way, but functional resumes don't work like that. You need to think more globally since you're not focusing on your specific experiences. Remember though, employers do think in a linear manner, just as you're predisposed to do. That's why you need to be extremely clear about what you're bringing to the table when you write a functional resume. As much as possible, tie your skills and accomplishments to certain roles you've had. Be completely transparent about your dates of employment, and never lie on your resume, regardless what format you're using. Although functional resumes are usually not a good first choice for most job seekers, in some cases they can have a place. To be successful in using one, remember why and how functional resumes work, when you can use a functional resume, when not to use a functional resume, how to write an effective functional format, that functional resumes are not linear. With a little work, you can add a functional approach to your job search and effectively highlight the skills and accomplishments you'll bring to the table.